Here we go.
Got it.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome, Christine, to the Ace Your Life podcast. I am your fearless host, Amy, and we have the most beautiful Christine Fisk with us today. So excited for this conversation. We just, off camera, we were just like talking about all these millions of wonderful things. And then I was like, wait, I've got to start recording because this is all so good. So I can't wait for y'all to hear all about this wonderful lady. It's going to be so much fun. So,
Amazing. Yay, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Amy.
oh, you're so welcome. Okay, so before we get started, like always, I would like to know, what is your favorite thing that you cannot live without right now? And it can be anything. It can be a restaurant, it can be a yoga position, it can be a kid, it can be anything. It can be a recipe. You just tell
Okay,
me.
well, I'm not going to give away my favorite child because that would just, no, I'm just
No,
joking. I don't have
that's
one.
not fair. Sophie's Joy, you can do that.
Don't have one. The thing I can't live without lately that's changed, it changed my life years ago, and recently I've seen it being deeper in my practice has impacted my life even just this week, on a such a like visceral level is meditation.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's just take a deep breath.
Tell me what kind of meditation you do, because I'm obsessed. Obsessed
I
is like putting it lightly.
uh, I
How I
love that
feel
you're
about
a
meditation.
meditator too, and we haven't even talked about that.
No, we haven't.
Um, so it's really changed my life years ago. I was the consummate like go, go, go person.
That's okay. I've got
And
two of them.
and I've got two of them too.
Yeah.
Um, I was a go, go, go person. I was juggling three kids, two kids for a while, then three. I have three kids. In career, my husband's career was funky hours. So and then I was just trying to show up for everything and felt like, bring it on. And really, that's not sustainable. And I thought I was different and I thought I could handle it. And it became too much. And at some insisting, I finally joined a group meditation program because it was really challenging for me to sit down by myself and be in silence and so I joined a group meditation program, and it really changed my life to get still and just be able to go inward and stop the noise, like stop the crazy noise from the exterior, but also in my head, like largely in my head, right?
Mhm.
And so I do it all. I really like guided meditations lately. I do a lot on Insight Timer,
Mhm.
and I also will sit in silence sometimes for 10 to 15 minutes. And sometimes I'll lead a meditation. I earlier this year I went through a meditation teacher training and became a certified meditation instructor. I'm not even really a big on certification type of person. However, I knew that the experience of that would deepen my practice and I could share it with more people. So that's that's it for me. It's getting still and creating space just brings in more. It creates space for more abundance in
Mm.
my life, and I've witnessed that just going deeper in the past week. I've just seen a stream of things coming into my life that have been really unexpected and I've been really open to, and I've been able to deal with some triggering circumstances in the past week and move through them really quickly as a result. So can't say enough. I know it's hard to start, and I'm a huge believer.
I love it. I love it so much. I can't say it enough. I've done so many podcasts about it. And I told everyone who would sit still long enough when I discovered it and how I discovered it the month before COVID. So I literally think the universe was saying, God, angels, whoever you believe in, was like, sister, you're going to need this. So let's get you started on something that's going to help you not lose your mind over the next 2 years. And when I started meditating, I literally, everything changed in my life. I became a completely different person. I, my business exploded, like my business that I wasn't even really working on. Like I was just kind of like selling a house. I'm a realtor. We all know that. And I would sell a house once a year, maybe for friends, or I would sell Scott's houses, my husband.
Hmm.
Now as of, when I started meditating, clients would just come out of the woodwork. I wasn't even going out there and marketing. Even some, and I would just come up with fresh ideas like, oh, this person mentioned that they might want a lot. And then my coworker said she's got a lot over here. Maybe I should put those together. Boom, there's a deal. Like so
Wow.
many things just started, synchronicities like crazy, like just, and I think it's like you said, it's just about slowing down
Yeah.
and getting really quiet. And
Yes.
that scares the shit out of everybody. Like no one in my family will do it. And I'm like, well, if I
Mhm.
do it long enough, maybe somebody eventually, I mean, I've tried to sit them all down, and especially my college kids. I'm like, y'all, if I had had this in college, this would have been so wonderful because it just helps you put everything into perspective. Everything just, you just need that space in your life, not to be so crazy all the time.
Yes,
But
completely. It's like
yeah,
we slow down to speed up because, like you said, all those brilliant ideas come up.
yeah,
And yeah, you just leave room for the magic to happen. We think we have to
absolutely.
like force, force, force and do, do, do. And it's so beautiful and refreshing to see the opposite of that and experience and manifest the
Yeah,
opposite of that.
I know. I
I
love
love
it. And
that.
you and I have a lot of similarities because we both are
Yeah.
kind of in the real estate space a little bit. So I would love for you to tell my audience, because my audience is a bunch of wonderful women, mostly who are around our age and who are, their kids are getting a little bit older and they're like, okay, now what do I do? Like maybe they were stay-at-home moms, maybe they were in a job they didn't like, maybe they, are just stressed out running after three kids and just want to know what's out there and what can they do that will make them feel good every day. So talk a little bit about how you've stumbled into this latest fun thing that you're doing. Or you know what,
Yeah.
just start at the beginning, because I love your story is so fascinating about like how you got into what you're doing, and
Yeah.
I would love to for you
Oh,
to share
sure.
with everybody.
So I love what you're providing people and you're giving them the gateway to just seeing so many possibilities. And that is so similar to what happened with me. I started this personal development journey about 5 or 6 years ago, really just craving more in my life and knowing that I was made for more. And I had a marketing consultancy and it was fine. I had a lot of clients from my tech executive days that I did work for, and I was enjoying it less and less. And so I thought, what else? What else is out there that I'm meant to do, that I get to do, right? And so I went down this path of really getting to know myself on a deeper level and really tapping into my desires. And one of the things I did was I went to a conference where I was really high energy. It was really about dreaming into what we really want without boundaries. So really like just getting to blow the roof off any limitations that we felt like we had. And the thing that kept coming up for me, in addition to some other ideas around career, but the first thing that would come up for me was this beach house. And I could see it, I could feel it, I could taste it, and I could imagine myself there. And it felt so visceral and like meant to be. And
Mhm.
so I thought, gosh, like this would just be amazing to own a piece of real estate, to own a home on Cape Cod, which is about an hour and a half from Boston, and a place where a lot of people from the Boston area go to vacation and get away for the weekend. And I thought 5 to 10 years, I'll figure it out. Well, that was in July. And in September, I went and looked at a piece of property. It was the only one I went and looked at. It stood out to me. It needed some work, it needed some love for sure.
Mhm.
And I knew the town. It called me. So I called the listing agent. I went down and took a look at it. It had been on the market for a while. And it was um, it was just speaking to me. Like I could just, I knew that it was meant for me. And the beautiful thing about my husband and I taking this on as a fixer-upper, which we did because we signed papers 3 months after I had this vision, which is really crazy.
Crazy.
Thinking it was 5 to 10 years away.
Yeah.
Um, the only way that this also would have worked was if my husband had switched jobs as he did. right before we bought it. So he had a 25-year career in coaching. He was a college coach. He was away a lot of weekends. He just, he's handy, and we work really well together. And being, taking on a project like this and working on it on the weekends would not have been possible unless he had switched careers, which he decided to do. And so I saw this house and I said to him, are you up for a project? Because I think we can fix this up. So we purchased this beach house. We buy it for $350,000 in 2019 in the fall, and we start fixing it up. And then what do you know? What happens in March the next year is COVID happens. And so now my whole family.
Perfect timing though for that, because that's when people wanted to get to beach houses. That's when the roof blew off of the real estate market.
Right.
In my world. Yeah.
Yeah, completely. Right. And nobody knew COVID was coming back then.
No.
So we start working on it, and we get to bring our family into it, who, like my kids who are teenagers, they're 10 and I have 2 teens, were in activities. So I would stay behind and like shuttle them around to their activities, and my husband would go down for the weekend. And then when COVID happened, they couldn't go to their activities, and we would all go down and we got to all work on it together. So we fix up this beach house, we get it on the market, it was fun and crazy. We were scrambling to get it ready for the summer rental market, get enough things decorated so we could put up pictures and rent it out. And then I remember the week before, we had our first renters running around to doing all the things, right? To the minute, down to the minute. Yeah. And then we rented it out and had great guests. Really, even during COVID, people wanted to get away, and we figured out how to make that happen. And we had a great experience. And then we rented it out the following year as well, had a lot of repeat guests. And we were thinking about selling it. And we went through the motions of potentially selling it, thinking, well, let's sell it, and then we'll take that money and we'll buy something else and we'll do it again. Well, we learned that, long story short, we learned that we could go buy another property, tapping into the equity of that house without selling it. So we never sold it. We took on another fixer-upper project, and over the next 6 months, fixed up another house in the same town that also became a short-term rental for mainly summer guests coming in who pay a premium to come spend a week there, and they're weekly rentals in the summer. It's just how it works. And then we get a lot of people who come on the shoulder season too. And so we figured out that short-term rental, renovate and rent, and it's just been so fun. I think the coolest thing about it is that if going back to meditating and just being open, like meditating opens you up to possibilities and to seeing things in new ways and realizing that life is not linear, and there are always so many ways to do things. And that open-mindedness and that approach allowed me to see the house and see all the possibilities with it, and make it what it was. So when we were about to list it, we were putting it on for under $1 million, and then the market continued to go up. So it's incredible to think that was a $600,000 or so return that if we'd sold it, we would have generated, but we've generated that level of equity in the house. And we learned so much in the process.
Oh, it's so great. And now you're going to teach other people how to do this. You've got something coming up, a masterclass about it, and then a course. So tell everybody about that, because this is just awesome.
Yeah. Well, we love talking about it. It's been so fun for us, especially because we'll do traditional jobs during the week, and then we get to go use our hands. And because you're in real estate and fixing up, like you flip houses, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's nice to do something that's tangible and find the fabric and put the floor in and pick out the tile and put the tile in if you want. It's been very rewarding. And people ask us all the time questions about how we did it, from how do we finance it, which I think people don't ask as much, but I think people are really curious about that. Yeah. We don't like to talk about money as a culture, which I think if we were more open about it, it would benefit us all. How do you tile a backsplash? How did you find the property? So many questions that we thought, we have so much knowledge to share, and we want other people to realize they can do this too, and have a property that they can go enjoy. And then when they're not there, they can rent it out to other people. And others get to enjoy it too. And isn't it beautiful to create something that you can share and you know that people are making memories there? Like the stories I hear from people about the memories that they make and the circumstances that they went into that vacation with using our house. It's just, it warms my heart. And
Yeah.
I love that we're creating not just another revenue stream, but also like so many experiences for so many people. So we're sharing that I'm going to share it. It's my husband and I's story, and I'm going to share all the lessons that we've learned in a masterclass next week, which I'm so excited about, to start to be able to spread this knowledge and this wealth and teach especially women how to generate money through real estate, which is
Hmm.
just really, really powerful. As you know, too, like real estate investing is traditionally more masculine. And
Hmm.
I think it's a way for women to really tap into their skills and their like lean back feminine energy and be able to, you know, let the money flow and
Hmm.
use the skills that they have to create generational wealth, really.
Yeah, I love that. And also just first of all, I mean, I think so many people are fascinated by flipping houses. I think it's such a big buzzword, Chip and
Yeah.
JoJo and all the shows about it all over everything, HGTV and Fixer Upper and all that. But not only that, but women are just so drawn to that because that's what they want to do with their own homes. So imagine if you could do something that you already innately love to do and make some money and just let it flow in and have some income coming in. I mean, I think it's just brilliant. I think it's
It's so
wonderful.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely. And I know you get it because you flipped what, 20 houses?
Oh no, we've flipped hundreds.
100. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
20 years. We were doing it for 20 years.
20
We did
years.
it way before Chip and JoJo.
The original
Now,
chip.
my first, yeah, we are the OGs for sure. Our first house that we flipped, I think we bought it for $20,000. And it was like in Balch Springs, which is this tiny little area that's so far away from Dallas. And it was so fun. We had, one baby at the time. We were out there painting and doing all the stuff. And now I was just telling you, it's so great just to see the trajectory of our business. Now we have three companies and we have a remodeling only company, then we have one of our flips, and then we have my real estate company. And our latest project, we're going to sell it for 1.85 million. So it's like it's so fun to see, and you don't have to have, like a daddy Warbucks
Mm-mm.
or a lot of money in the bank to start this business, which is what I love, that you can teach people how you can generate from your own equity that you have in your own home that you live in right now. Like there's so many
Right.
ways to do this that you can think outside the box
Right.
and use what we love to do anyway. So it's
Completely. Completely. What we have, like the part about equity, like I look around my neighborhood and I know there's so many women that would love to be able to fix up a vacation house and spend more time there, and they
Mhm.
feel stuck, like they don't have the money saved for it. And I just want to say, oh, we live outside of Boston. The houses here are not inexpensive. And so people
Mhm.
who have owned for a while definitely have some good equity in their
Yeah.
houses,
Yeah.
and it's available, and we're in a market that's pretty stable. So yes, there's some risk that maybe the market would go down, and that's not typical. So it's
Yeah.
not typical, and I think that it's a great way to tap into a resource you already have and get to play. Like you said, like you get to go decorate, you get to play, you get to pick things out. um, it's awesome.
And it's just, I think it all goes back to purpose. I think that part of something that I struggled with, and this is why I started this podcast, and this is why I started all the personal development stuff that I did, 4 or 5 years ago, is that you can do things, you can be going through the motions of your life and still not feel that purpose, that you just can feel like, okay, well, this is what I do every day. I drop the kids off and then I go to my job and I don't really like it and it's kind of boring and it's not lighting me up and I'm not using my creativity. And that is where I think women get depressed. I think
Hmm.
that's where we lose our spark. but your spark never goes away. It's just deep down in there. And then we get so conditioned into thinking that we're not supposed to listen to anything inside. We're supposed to just serve and help our family and our husband and our children and our community. What's wrong with just listening to what you want to do? Or maybe,
100%.
yeah. And I think
Yeah,
that the meditation ties into all of that. Like when you get still and you get really quiet and you're like, okay, wait a minute. I don't even like this little job that I'm doing. Why am I doing this? Or I really love it and I just complain about it all the time and I didn't realize that I really like it. Like it really
yeah,
could light me up. So,
right.
yeah, I love
Yeah,
that you're focusing on that. You're putting a spotlight on it and you're teaching women that there's more out there.
totally, totally. And we get like life is meant to be enjoyed. We're not meant to struggle. And when we put ourselves first, everyone else benefits. And we've had it backwards for so long. And my mom and I talk about this. And, like it was a thing to struggle back when I was a kid and she was my mom. And there,
Mhm.
she would say to me, I never did girls' nights. I never, and it should never have gotten to be that way. And so let's demystify this. Like it's when we feel good and we treat ourselves well and we're in good energy, you see it reflected in your kids. They will reflect it right back to you. It is
Mhm.
so clear. And when you meditate, like you said, you're so clear on that. Like it's obvious because you're tuned into that. You're tuned into another frequency when you meditate regularly. So you like pick up on all of that energy and all of those vibes. And it's like it's the best thing you can do is invest in yourself.
I know. And I feel like a lot of my journey was for my kids, but also for my daughter, because I have one daughter and she's now 21. And I feel like, and I know this is maybe beating myself up a little bit, but I feel like I wasn't the best role model always. Like I did a lot of martyr. I did
Mm,
a lot of, I'm going to do it all by myself and I want a gold star from all of y'all. And then I didn't get it. So then I acted like a little diva and, or not a diva, but just a martyr. Like, oh,
yeah.
I'll do it myself. And then I
Yeah.
did it all myself and it wasn't done well. And no one learned how
No
to
one
do
feels good.
anything. No, and
Yeah.
nobody feels good. And everybody's like, oh, mom's in a bad mood again because she, spent all night baking for the bake fair that or whatever. I don't
Yeah.
even know. I'm just making stuff up. But volunteering for things that I hated to volunteer for, or
Yeah.
just, putting yourself in situations because someone asked you to that you didn't want to do. And we need to quit all that because I
Yeah.
want my daughter to know that there are options, that you can be happy and have a great marriage and be a great mom and make a shit ton of money if you want to. That
Yeah.
doesn't make you a bad mom or a bad wife.
Not at all.
No. In fact, it'll make you better because you are so filled up and you feel so
Yeah.
great. And it's like
It'll just amplify, right?
amplify. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, I just love all
So
this.
good. So good.
Yeah. So tell everybody now, so you're doing this course, which is going to be
Yep.
fantastic, but also you do coaching. So talk about that a little bit and like,
Yes, so yeah, I'm a leadership coach as well. I work with a lot of people who are looking to level up their leadership, sometimes change careers, look for something more meaningful. I work with executive clients who are facing challenges. Maybe they keep hitting the same challenge and they want to see things differently. So, really, I think of myself as helping them to open up to much more possibility and different ways of thinking about things, which then has these wonderful ripple effects into their personal life and their
mm,
relationships with their colleagues, but also in their relationships at home. And it's really beautiful. And so I do work with clients one-on-one. I'm hosting my first retreat next month where it's a women's retreat. I work with both men and women. And I decided that, like you and I were just talking about, women really need to take care of themselves and fill their own cup. So, and I was feeling that and I was seeing it amongst so many people around me that I said, I'm opening one of my houses on the Cape to do a retreat. So not only is it an investment property, but it's a place to host a retreat and
mm,
inviting in women for meditation, yoga. We're going to have a healthy chef come in and prepare meals for us, connect, do some journaling and some hot seat coaching, and just take a break from it all and really like get away to the coast and right before Thanksgiving,
oh,
recharge. so that they can go into the holidays with their cup full, so that they're not depleted, we're not depleted right when we start giving again, like in that giving mode, because it's really, that's so much of what the holidays are about. And I think when you're not, like you were talking about, like when you don't resent it because you're enjoying it, because
Mhm.
you're feeling good, then
Mhm.
it's fun. And I think sometimes the holidays can turn into a season where we resent not being appreciated or whatnot. And so I think this is a way to really get clear on what we want, feel really good, so that we have so much more to give. So yeah, so I'm doing that for the first time. I'm super excited, the weekend before Thanksgiving. And yeah, I'm doing this one-on-one coaching. I've been doing it for 2 years, and I get so much out of it. I love it. It feels like my life's work. I love coaching and helping other people. And that's why I decided to try this, teaching people what I'm doing with real estate too. It's just another avenue, another way to support people and help hopefully bring more financial independence and freedom for women too.
Yeah, and you can just tell you have such a passion for it. Like there's just such a beautiful, you have such a beautiful calming presence about you that just makes you feel like, oh, like you just wrapped me in a big blanket and said, it's gonna be okay, baby. And I'm gonna make you a shit ton of money too. So just get ready. Enjoy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I want you to work on me for sure.
Well, let's
Oh
do
my
it.
gosh, you're just such a doll. Well, I'm so excited about your retreat too. That sounds so wonderful. I mean, everything that you're doing is on my list of manifestations, like the beach house and the retreats and having a beach house where you go for retreats and all that.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I don't live an hour and a half away from a coast.
not right now.
That could be a problem, but that's
No,
just, yeah, that's in the
we'll
list.
work on that. Well, that's funny because so much of what you're doing is on my list to
I
manifest
know.
too.
That's what I love. It's so great how you can just teach each other things. And like, it's so funny how during COVID, we all got so isolated,
Hmm.
but it also was kind of a wonderful opportunity to reach out over the internet and
Mhm.
to meet people. You don't have to live in a big city to do these things. You can get online, you can listen to podcasts, you can see who you resonate with. You can, just get online and Google fixer upper or whatever and see what comes up. I mean, there's just so many resources
Yeah.
and fabulous women who we can learn from who've done it ahead of us, who can teach us everything like you've
Yeah.
done.
Yes.
And you make it easy and filter it all down. And so then we can all be doing these wonderful things. It's great.
Yeah, totally. It's so great. And I think we learned so much during that time. And now, we're sharing it. You've launched your podcast. You've learned how to podcast, and
Yeah.
you're sharing so much that you learned. And I think people are hungry for that. They're hungry to learn from you, but then they're, inspired to do their own thing as a result too.
Yeah. And sometimes, like with the podcast, you don't really know, is anyone even listening, kind of thing. And then lately, I've had women come up to me in Dallas at like a party or like a football game or something and say, oh, I really liked what you said about da da da. And I listen every week. I'm like, really? Oh,
Really?
surely? Are you talking about me? Are you sure? It's so I can't. I mean, it makes me cry every time when someone says they've listened at all. And then it's just makes you realize how many people you're like you said, are hungry for this. Like they really do want that connection and want to feel like they're not alone and want to feel like they have a purpose. And, so I just think the work you're doing and the work I'm doing is really important and necessary.
Mm,
And we just got to keep it going.
absolutely. Love it.
I know. So I could just talk to you all day about all this stuff. But
To be
um,
continued.
yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Will you tell everyone where they can find you? Because I would love to be able to give that out to all my ladies so that they can join your course. Now, when is your course starting?
So I'm doing a free masterclass next Friday. It's the October 28th, October 28th.
Okay.
And I'll probably do it again because I want to give this information away, and I'm exploring other things in real estate that I know I'm going to want to share as well. So just talking to people and yeah, so and all of the information, like the place where I'm at the most, where you can be in touch with me if you're curious about any of it, is Instagram. I'm there at the Christine Fisk, and it's Christine with the CH. Fisk has an E on the end. And I have a website by the same name, except drop the. It's just christinefisk.com. And I'm also on LinkedIn.
Awesome.
Feel free to reach out any which way.
Yeah. And I'm going to drop all this in the show notes, obviously. But if you if for some reason this doesn't come out before your masterclass, hopefully you'll have a replay and everyone can just click on it and
I sure
buy
will.
the replay for you. That would be awesome. But if in case we can get it out that quickly, that would be really fun if we can get it out before your masterclass, and then everybody can just click on the link and join your masterclass, which would be amazing.
Would love it.
Yeah. And then your
Yeah.
retreat is the weekend before or the week before Thanksgiving, right?
Right. It's the Friday and Saturday before, the 18th and 19th of November.
Oh, I wish I could come.
I would love for you to come.
I would love to come.
Next,
And I
next
love
time.
everything you're doing, the breath work, just all of it, the journaling. It's just going to be so great. And then, and let's just circle back for a second. So the house that you ended up manifesting, that your first rental property, is it on the beach? Is it in a beach town? Tell me.
Yeah, it's
On the beach?
in a beach town. We call it
Yeah.
the beach house. It's about a half mile, three-quarters of a mile from the beach. Um, yeah, and the other
Wonderful.
one is a short walk to a pond. So we say we have the beach house because that's closer to the beach, and then we have the pond house, which is just lovely. Like pond life is so fun too because we have a canoe and paddleboard and all of that down there,
Yeah.
and that's a different experience, and it's 3 miles away.
Oh, that's so fun. So maybe we can even drop the links to that in the show notes so that if somebody
Yeah,
wants to come and rent it out for the summer or, for a weekend, like you said, we will have that available too. So it was
love
just
it.
such a great conversation. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And I
Oh,
can't
thank
wait to
you.
hear all about the masterclass and everything that you've got going on. And it's just going to be great. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. It's been such a treat to catch up with you.
I
And
know you too. You too.
yeah, I love your podcast and everything you're doing.
Oh, thanks. Thank you so much. Well, we're gonna have to collaborate some more for sure.
For
Maybe we could
sure.
do something real estate wise in the
Love
future.
it.
I see it coming. I could be
I do
it's
too.
happening. It's already done. It's already done. Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Have an awesome day and we will talk soon.
Okay, thanks, Amy.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.